Good morning, this is your Stat Sensei, Mr. Sensei, and this is classwork 3B.2, the geometric distribution. 9% of the population, including adults and teenagers who have used marijuana, develop a dependency on marijuana and rely on it to feel normal and find it necessary to deal with day-to-day aspects of life. So we have a percent here, 9%, so 9 over 100 equals 0.09. So so of the people in the U.S. who have used marijuana, how many would you expect to interview until you find one that develops a dependency? Found one, find the first one. If you're surveying until the first one, the word first, I know this doesn't say first, but it implies first. You're surveying until you find the first one. So if you're looking for a first, it's probably a geometric. All right, because we don't have a group. Technically, we could be surveying and never find that first one. So in this case, we're looking till we find that first one. So the first question is, how many would you expect to interview until you find one that develops a dependency? So the word expected is my keyword, which tells me I'm looking for the expected value. All right. And the expected value of a geometric is 1 over p. And in this case, our probability we said was 0.09. So probability is 0.09. So 1 divided by 0.09. And if I take the calculator just to show that to you, 1 divided by 0.09, we get 11.111. Please go, take it to 4 decimal places and truncate. All right. What is the standard deviation? Well, here's our standard deviation. And so it's going to be 1 minus p, which is q, divided by p. So here's the way I would do that. I would take um, parenthesis 1 minus 0.09, and then I'd raise it to the half power. Oops, got too many parentheses. 1 minus 0.09, raise it to the half power. That's my square root, and then divide it by 0.09. And I get 10.599. And that's what we have here. You can use the square root button if you would. That's fine. I just like using the raising it to the half power. Either one's fine. What is the probability that the 12th person you interview from the population is the first one? Okay, so that basically we're looking for the first. As soon as it tells me it's first, geometric, but we are looking for specifically the 12th person. Well, if we're looking specifically for the 12th person, that means it's exactly one person. So I'm going to be doing a geometric PDF. The formula is 1 minus p, x to the minus 1, p. X is the number of people I surveyed. So we know the probability is 0.09. So this is going to be, every time it's going to be 0.09. That much we know. And then 12 minus 1. So it's really important that we go, oh, we have the 12th person. You know what? I'll use this yellow. This is 12. So this is 12 minus 1, and that comes from here. So let's run this through the calculator. Second, vars, scroll down to geometric PDF. Our probability is 0.09, and our x value, we're looking for finding it on the 12th person. And when we do that, we get 0.0318, 4 decimal places. Part D, what is the probability that the first person with the, there's that key word, first. As soon as I see first, I'm thinking geometric, is among the first 12. That, in other words, it means it's in a group. As soon as I circle multiple values like that, I know I'm having to use a summation. Well, here's my summation formula. It's the PDF and a PDF, but remember, we're going to go from the lowest value to the upper value. So my lowest value is 1. So I'm going to need to worry about this 1 right here. And then my upper value is 12. So I need to be 12 right there. Okay. So when I write this in, you know what? 1 minus 0.09 And there's the 1 minus 1. And by the way, it's this one. And then it's, because we're always going to be subtracting 1 here. And then this is the 12. So let's go ahead and do this in the calculator. Now remember, this is a summation. So to do that, and I should also note, there's that 1 again. And there's that 12 again. So here we go, summation. In case you forgot, we go to the math button, scroll all the way down to summation, press enter. And we have to use the X. But what was our lowest value we circled? The lowest value was 1. The highest value we circled was 12. Nice. So let me start over. So math, summation. Love it when I make a mistake like that. X, I know it inspires confidence in the students. 12. All right. Now we're going to do just a second VARS geometric PDF. So second VARS, GeoPDF, probabilities 0.9. And for our X value, whenever we have multiple values, we don't have a number here. We always use X because it has to be any one of those numbers. And we get 0.6775. And by the way, this right here should not be a 12. This should be a X. Okay, moving on. Letter E. Of the population who use marijuana, what is probably the first person you interview with as a dependency is the first person. So the first, this tells me it's a geometric. And when I make my number line, I happen to be looking for, just one thing. If I'm only working with one thing, this tells me this is a GeoPDF. It is not a summation because I only circled one value. Okay, so we're going back to our formula. 1 minus P, X to the minus 1, and P. Well, our probability is 1, and we want it to be exactly 1, so X equals 1. So going to our calculator, second VARS, geometric PDF, probability is 0.1, 0.09, and our X value is 1, and we get 0.09. Once again, this one that you see right here is the same one that you see right here is the same one as the first number, not the second one. You're always subtracting 1. Okay? Letter F. What is the probability that the first person with the dependency on marijuana is among the first 6? That means it could be the first person, the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person, the sixth person. Our probability is still going to be 0.09, but what we care about is this first person, and we care about this sixth person, or when we're writing our formula. And because we have all of these people, we have a summation. So this is going to be a summation problem, which means I'm going to have to use my lower one, which is 1, and then my upper one, and I didn't get that. There it is. And my upper one, which is 6. So this will be 1 minus 1, and this will be 6 minus 1. And our probabilities are still going to be 0.09 all the way through. So when I'm writing this, this is 1, and this is 6. All right. So let's go ahead and run this thing. So I have math, drop down to summation, XTON. Well, what was the lower value I circled? It was 1. The upper value was 6. Arrow over. Now we're in go blue VARS geometric PDF. 0.09 is our probability. We need to change our X value to just X. And we get 0.4321. Number 9. Of the population who use marijuana, what's the probability the first person you interview with the dependency is the third? Once again, the key word first This is what clues me in that I'm working with a geometric. I don't have a group, so it's not a binomial, but this is the third. So I'm circling the third person. That means I'm just using this formula and my x value is going to be 3. So x equals 3. And remember what I circle here is what goes here. And then of course it shows up right there. So let's run this thing. Oh, you know what? I should be saying that 1 minus 0.09, 3 to the minus 1, and then this value. So second vars, geometric, PDF, probability is 0.09, and our x value is just simply 3. And there we go, 0.0745. Letter H. Of the population who use marijuana, what's the probability that you need to interview at least 3? So that means I have to get 3, 4, 5, and this technically goes all the way out to infinity, which I may never get to. Okay? If I have an at least, if I have an at least, then I'm going to have to use a 1 minus a summation. This is a little bit of a pain. 1 minus the summation. So what I'm going to actually sum is not what I have circled. What I'm going to have to sum are what's not circled. I have to stop below the circle. So 1 minus the summation. And guess what? This first number will be my lower, and the second number will be my upper. So here we go. 1 minus the probability of, and like I said, what was my lower? 1. What was my upper? 2. And I'm still going to have to use this formula, 1 minus this, but I'm going to use 1 for my lower and 2 for my upper right there. So there it is plugged in. All right. And you can sit there and see that we have, there's our 2 for our upper value. And here is our 1 for our lower value. So let's try this out. Okay. 1 minus, and then I'm going to press the math button. I'm going to drop down to summation. And we have x equals 1. My upper value is 2. Second vars, we want a geometric because we're looking for the first. And 0.09 hasn't changed, but we always use x for the x value when we're using a summation every single time. And we get 0.8281. All right, so 0.8281. All right, I hope this helps. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.